Good morning. Good morning. Please go to the website. Support me by turning in the petition. Um, this is a representative democracy. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, when you elect a person, you are putting that person in the position to represent what your ideals are. The issue with the representative democracy is when you disagree with who you put in office. But there is no way to disagree. That's a personal effect. What I'm trying to do is put you in a way for you to disagree with who that person is. Ted Cruz on the Tucker Carlson interview says that his understanding of the Bible says that those who support Israel will be blessed. So he is going to support Israel in whatever happens. What that simply means is every single person who elected Ted Cruz also has his mentality, because that's how representative democracy works, because we cannot separate character from the representative, because there is no pathway to doing so. If you disagree with me, you cannot tell me in a meaningful way that you disagree, because you don't get the vote. You don't get to say so. So when people say the West, when you see creators or individuals or intellectuals say the West thinks like this, that's because that's how we're being represented. When they say, I want to hurt the people of the West, and you're like, don't involve me in that. You're part of a representative democracy. How they think is how it is, because that is them putting out what represents all of us. I am trying to mitigate that and say that, hey, our citizens now have an avenue to say that we do not agree with this and we want this piece changed because it doesn't align with my personal character and values. When I'm elected governor of Florida, I do not want you tied to me, because there may be something that I believe in or don't believe in that you do. And it may be in your best interest to see that happen. And I need to give you and others a pathway to disassociate yourself from the representative. The only thing that I should be doing is ensuring that I bring you, the citizen, information for the job you hired me for. You hired me to make this state continue to be healthy. If it is not where it should be, to bring it up and to tell us how we are going to do this using the resources that are here. You did not hire me to go and read my Bible and then come out and tell you how I feel about this and this is the way it should be, because I'm locked in on a vision that has nothing to do with you because you're part of a different religion. You didn't hire me because I was born and raised black and I look at something in my area and I say, because I was born and raised black and I've seen how underserved black people are, that, you know what, I'm gonna just do this and it's gonna and you know what, it's gonna affect how other people feel over here. You didn't hire these individuals because they're white. And because they're white, they understand that, hey, we have to suppress or oppress certain people in order to make sure that we're still good, regardless of how much poverty and things that brings. You did not hire them for that, because no one runs on that. No one runs on that. You hired them because they said something that resonated with your character. But here's where direct democracy is different. I'm not trying to resonate with your character. I'm trying to allow you to directly implement what your basis is. I'm not asking you to attach yourself to any representative. When we hire any of our elected officials, they are there to do a job for the citizens. That's what you're there for. You can have all of your own personal feelings. You can have them all, but they may not all the time align with everyone else's. And individuals need to be able to do something and say something to actually show that it is not the way it is. And that's why we're having such the problems we're having today, because we are in disagreement with a system that has no avenue for you to disagree. It does not have an avenue if you did. It has an avenue to listen to you scream against a wall that ain't coming down. There has not been, ladies and gentlemen, I will be 43 years old this year. There has not been a representative, an elected official that has decided to give citizens more authority over their elected officials since I've been born, and I've looked it up. Everyone wants you to see yourself through them. And let me be clear on this. I am a follower of God. I believe in God. Jesus is the only person that I need to go through to talk to God. I'm not asking another human being to go through me to get something done. I want to put a system in place so that you can take your vision, your ideas, and actually have legislative authority to foreshape things how you see fit in your communities. It is that important, because currently in this representative democracy, while as an individual you can disagree, you cannot stop legislation and policy from happening. It belongs only to those elected representatives. And when they make a decision, that is how now groups of people get put into boxes that they never put themselves in. Now individuals have to come out and say, and we've seen it, well, that's my president, or that's my governor, or that's my sheriff, even though they've said something that you know you don't agree with. So now you're having to fight an unnecessary battle when you could simply say, I didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for that. I voted because that person is competent enough. I found them competent enough to do the job that they said they would do. But I do not find anyone competent enough to speak for me. Let me be clear on that. I speak for me as an individual. You don't need to speak for me. You can regurgitate what I'm trying to do. But if I have not answered a question with a direct yes or no, do not assume that you know what I'm thinking. You ask me directly and I will answer you directly. I will do that directly, and I want citizens to have that same level of authority. It is important. We need to see something different. This, again, is a representative democracy that lacks accountability for its representatives. And we are all, because we are part of the United States of America, a part of the system. Help me evolve this thing. It needs to evolve, because right now, no matter the good or the bad, you are a part of that. I don't care if you didn't vote. You don't get to not pay taxes unless you don't have a job. So you're part of it. So get out there and keep not voting. Get out there and keep not wanting to see something different. Going out there, look at the results of where we are today. Look at where we are today. Everybody's saying AI is about to take over, but no one has yet to come out and say, before we allow AI to take over, here's a progressive plan for how we're looking at integrating our citizens. Because once the computers take over everything, how do citizens work? What do we do with this, with our human resource? Where is that conversation? Yet when you look around, it is, well, we're gonna let people go because AI is gonna be doing these jobs. Aren't you that's creating hardship? Should we not slow this down? I'm trying to get us a place where we don't have to ask arbitrary questions. Where now, if I know that AI is going to infringe or create poverty or do these things because we haven't put something in place, Now we get to create legislation that says slow this down here until we come up with a plan for this. What are we going to do with our human resource? Are we ever going to lower prices to ensure that this happens? Lock in on this initiative to get citizens legislative authority. And I mean lock in tight. Because the reason we're going where we're going is because our representative democracy, it doesn't seem like it's representing the will of the people. And now, does it represent you? Is everything that the person you elected exactly what you would have done? Would you be, if you're the president right now, are you signing 80, 90 executive orders that you didn't read? There is not a single piece of my plan that I did not write, that I do not revise, that I do not go over. There is not a piece. And I'm trying to ensure citizens that the best way forward is to give you a legislative voice, is to give you authority over your elected officials in a manner that affords you individuality. Because again, if I do or say something that you disagree with in our current system, I did exactly what you wanted me to do because you would have elected me. So if the majority of registered voters decide that they want to have more control and they do not want to align 100% with any individual, good or bad, and you want to be able to have some say so, please consider going to my webpage, downloading the petition, and getting me on that ballot. You guys have a great day.